Several people on the front lines in the fight against Ebola testified before the U.S. Congress this week, including Ted Alemayhu. He is the founder of the U.S. Doctors for Africa, and I got a chance to speak with him after his appearance on Capitol Hill.
The beauty of this hearing is, one, it reignited the conversation of the issue, the crisis in West Africa, particularly in Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, and now Nigeria. The members of Congress were extremely serious. They were deeply concerned. They mobilized some forces. We talked about the issues and the problems and what needs to be done rather immediately. And so we really walked away quite happy with the momentum and the action that Congress is about to take.
And you're ready to deploy materials to the region as well.
We're preparing to deploy medical supplies and equipment and some of the protective gears that these medical professionals need on the ground so desperately.
We talked to Sheldon Yett with UNICEF. He's in Monrovia. We spoke to him earlier this week, and he said that one of the problems that he sees, and I want to talk to you about this because U.S. Doctors for Africa obviously takes U.S. doctors and sends them to Africa.
Yeah.
One of the concerns he said he sees is that, and you can see these images behind us, that these people look like they're walking around on Mars, and it's dissuading medical professionals from actually going to the region, and that's hurting the populace there. Would you agree with that? And how tough a sell has it been for you in terms of getting people who want to go and pitch in and help?
These medical professionals are trained, and they took an oath to save lives. They've always been on the forefront in disasters such as this, whether it's the hurricane disaster, or earthquake, or war. And so a lot of them, at least the people that we have been speaking with, they're not fearful of going to help people in Africa. But we must have the right protective equipment and supplies available to them. The last thing we want to do is gather a group of doctors and nurses and send them to a place such as in Liberia and Sierra Leone and what have you, and obviously put them at the risk.
While you were testifying, one of the people sitting there went there to help and then came back as a patient.
Yeah.
Very moving testimony. What were your thoughts? What was going through your mind while he was talking?
Yeah, really quite emotional. I mean, Dr. Kent, he's such a beautiful human being. You know, he went there and he put himself out there, and he was in fact on the protective gear when he was treating patients, and somehow he did contract the virus and he got sick. And thankfully, obviously, he's well now. He talked about the danger and the risk of going into places like that, and he even said that despite all of those challenges, he was trained and took the oath to go out and save another brothers and sisters somewhere in the world.
Let me ask you about this, because this is a story that's percolated in the last couple of days. Ebola patients buying survivors' blood from the black market, and the WHO very concerned about this. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's quite dangerous, in my opinion, because getting blood from anybody else, unless that blood is screened to make sure that it's healthy. It's not only Ebola. Now you have the HIV virus, and you have lots of diseases out there. So the last thing you want to do is buy blood from a black market, and then I think that's extremely dangerous.
The West especially seems to get fixated on a crisis, move in, and yet, as we found out from the folks from UNICEF the other day, that Ebola will go away, but there are still a lot of medical issues in terms of infrastructure, cholera, malaria. Are you concerned at all that at some point this story goes away, and so too does the interest in the continent?
Yes, I am, actually. But the beauty of this discussion is we are reigniting the conversation of what does African health infrastructure looks like. We put the fire out, we stop this virus, and it's almost a guarantee another virus is going to kick in at some stage. So are we going to rally again and try to put that fire out as well? So I think this is a perfect opportunity for the global healthcare community to discuss, the government of this nation, of the United States. How do we long-term resolve the issue of healthcare in Africa, which is building the infrastructure, training more doctors and nurses, providing them with the right tools or access to the tools so that they can actually do what they're trained to do.
That was Ted Alemayhu joining us.